the next mayor of New York City, John Catsimatidis. Welcome, John! Bravo, John! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the John Catsimatidis rally, the next mayor of New York City. I'd like to first begin by thanking my co-hosts this evening, Peter Kakoyanis, Dennis Lushotis, Dimitrios Palamaris, Stella Kokolas, Jim Kokotas, my supreme Zoe Koutsoupaikis, Mike Niamotakis, the Pantelides brothers, Peter J. Pappas and Peter Vlitas. Thank you all very much for helping. But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, thank each and every one of you for taking the time out to be here this evening. It's an exciting night tonight, and I'm going to briefly take you back 10 days ago. I was at the Catsimatidis in Bay Ridge. And ladies and gentlemen, I know the vast majority of people here can relate to this. We were hosting the mayor of Athens, so I know, John, you met with the mayor of Athens, and it's an interesting story. He left here when he was 5 years old. John came here when he was 6 months old, so they had a common denominator. But at the Catsimatidis, as I was sitting there, on the wall, ladies and gentlemen, was a picture that was just bursting out of the frame of Mike Dukakis and Brooklyn Greek Americans. They were so proud and so enthusiastic and so happy and so supportive. And I sincerely believe that tonight we rekindle that enthusiasm, that love of heritage, that ethnic pride, that belief in electing the right person to lead this city going forward. And that is John Catsimatidis. John, tonight we're going to take another one of those pictures tonight, and we'll make sure every Shutterclaw and every synagogue in the city has it up on their wall so that future generations of young Greek Americans can look up with pride and say, geez, one of us can do it. And John, subsequent to that 1988 election, we've had 4 Greek Americans here in New York City serve in the state legislature. So we have made progress. And in fact, John, if I may take a moment of personal liberty, because of the many people in this room, John, I see a lot of Team Moronis people here. We were able, thank you guys, we were able to win, not only as a Greek American, but as a Republican here in New York City. The first ever Greek American Republican elected to office in New York City. And here we're going to have the second and the greatest Greek American elected to office in New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know John, we all know his commitment to community, his love of philanthropy, his business acumen. I think we're all extremely proud of what he represents in our community. It's imperative that each and every one of us do whatever is in our power to encourage our neighbor, a friend, a relative, a loved one, twist an arm, break a leg. They've got to come out on September 10th. Is the Republican primary, ladies and gentlemen. September 10th is the beginning of the battle. We must win the Republican primary come September 10th. In the right-hand corner of this room is a station to register to vote. If you are not registered, I encourage you all wholeheartedly to register to vote for one purpose only, in addition to being a good American and doing your civic duty. But on September 10th, we need each and every one of you to come out and vote for John Catsimatidis. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of September 10th. If we don't win September 10th, we go no further. But let me tell you guys, if we win September 10th, come September 11th, John, we're going to kick some cookies, as we say up in. So we're very excited, and as I touched upon briefly, we all know and love John for all the great work he has done in this city, in our community and beyond, his philanthropy, his dedication to providing opportunities for underprivileged kids not over the last few years, over the decades of his professional career. And ladies and gentlemen, who is better qualified to be the next mayor? None other than John Catsimatidis, a man who has created thousands and thousands of jobs that are critically necessary to get the economy of this great city once again moving forward. This is the man who has the qualities, who has the temperament, who has the intelligence and the finesse to make that all come true. Not only for this community, but for all 5 boroughs. And John is in touch with all 5 boroughs. You know his history, and the gentleman who's going to introduce him will touch upon all that stuff. But I'm going to leave you once again to please sign up to volunteer. We need bodies to win an election, ladies and gentlemen. Victories don't fall out of the sky. It takes a lot of hard work and people on the ground and phone calls and people helping doing mailings. It takes volunteers to win an election. I want to recognize the former Staten Island chairwoman, Leticia Amoro, who was key in my 3 victories. We have the Kings County Republican Chairman, Craig Eaton, here, who has been instrumental in helping John every step of the way over the past few months. We have visiting with us tonight from Florida, Father Xanthakis. Father Xanthakis, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Also his son, Anthony Xanthakis, who ran for the State Assembly. If you all remember, we have Charles Kapitanakis, who ran for State Senate. Charlie, thank you for being here and for your leadership in our community. We have Andrew Bernardis, who recently ran for office. Andrew, congratulations to you. And I would like to extend a personal and warm thank you to Margot Catsimatidis.
Yeah!
That's right. And I know John will touch upon it. This city needs a first lady, ladies and gentlemen. We need a first lady up at Gracie Mansion, and Margot would just do wonders for this city. She is gracious. She's a wonderful hostess. We have our weekly meetings. She's ebullient. She's a smile on her face. She's encouraging. She's supportive. And she knows how to drive that boat straight forward. Margot, we thank you for all of your commitment. So, again, please register to vote. I'm going to say it again because, ladies and gentlemen, we're here for a party, but if we don't leave here with people who have registered to vote, take an application home for a friend, a neighbor, a loved one, register, and to be frank, you must register as a Republican to vote in this primary. Subsequent to that, you can do whatever you like with your registration. You can become a Democrat, a liberal, a conservative, but for this September 10th election, if you're going to register, you must register as a Republican. And also, the staff is walking around with volunteer sheets. We need volunteers. We have offices up and running in all the boroughs. If I'm not mistaken, John, all the boroughs are up and running. Has anyone seen the TV ad? The TV ad is just fantastic. It's beautiful, professional. It sends a clear, concise message about the leadership that John Catsimatidis will provide to this city. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce one of the co-hosts this evening, someone who has a long history with John, a very gracious gentleman, Mr. Nyc Mayoral. Dennis.
Thank you, Matt. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can't do the Elvis Presley thing. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and let's give a big round of applause to our co-organizers, Manor and Peter Catsimatidis, and to all of you that are here tonight to hear John Catsimatidis. I'm proud to have the honor to introduce to you a man that has proven himself in business, a champion of Hellenism, and a role model of our Greek heritage. John Catsimatidis and I first met in 1980 in, of all places, a food show exposition in San Francisco. He was walking the exposition floor wearing a sweatsuit and sneakers, while I was managing a booth of Cypriot food products. I believe either he was impressed or just felt sorry for me. Since that time, John has been importing and distributing Cypriot and Greek food products in all of his Christidis stores. Later only did I learn that John opened his first small supermarket while still in college on Manhattan's Upper West Side. This single supermarket evolved into Manhattan's largest high-quality supermarket chain, Christidis. Today, John Catsimatidis is Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Red Apple Group, with holdings not only in supermarkets, but convenience stores, oil refining, retail petroleum products, real estate, and aviation. The Red Apple Group posts annual sales of $4.4 billion with 8,000 employees, making John Catsimatidis one of the largest employers in the city of New York.
Yeah.
His climb to the top and his extensive resume as a self-made billionaire is an impressive one. John knows what it means to struggle, make tough decisions, and listen to people and their point of view, all with broad shoulders, using his skills of leadership, common sense, and the vision to make New York a stronger, safer, and economically vibrant city. John remains anchored in his Greek roots. His contribution and dedication to his community and many charities underlines his commitment and support, promoting Hellenism and our Greek Orthodox faith. It's not every day a Greek American makes a credible run for this level of elective office. When the opportunity arises, such as with John Catsimatidis, we all need to come together, move forward in unity to support one of our own. John Catsimatidis has the corporate, business, and practical experience to deal with New York City's growing budget deficit, labor negotiations, aging infrastructure, and the critical issues of education and a secure city for all New Yorkers. He is blessed with a dynamic wife, Margot, and two children, AJ and Yannis, who share his love, commitment, and vision for the city of New York. I would now like to introduce to you the husband of the next First Lady of the city of New York. Please join me in welcoming a great American, a great Hellene, a great New Yorker, and the next mayor of New York City, John Catsimatidis.
Wow. Wow. I remember, this is a wow moment. What a job, Matt, Peter, the whole committee, Dennis. You guys did a great job. Let's have a hand for the committee. whoever's on the committee, whoever's on the committee, come on up. I want the committee to be right with me. And thank you to my wife and friend for 40 years. She's always been there for me. And New York does deserve a first lady. We haven't had one in like 20 years. And Craig, our Republican chairman, thank you for being here tonight. It's a long way from Mykonos, you know. This year, 2013, I'm celebrating both my grandfathers coming to America in 1913. Wow, what a celebration that is. They left my father in Greece, and he had to take care of his 3 sisters and his mother. But that's what they did in those days. There was always responsibility for your family, which we were taught at a very, very young age, that respect your grandfathers, your fathers, and that's the most important thing in our lives. New York has been great to me. I came here 6 months old. I lived on 135th Street. We were very poor. My father would only be able to work as a busboy because he didn't speak English. I went to kindergarten. I didn't speak English. And you know how I learned to speak English? I had a 5-inch Emerson television set. And whatever I learned. So I was at a disadvantage. And my father worked 7 days a week. He worked as a busboy for a company named Longchamps. He then worked in Astoria because he spoke fluent Italian, because the Dodecanese Islands were part of Italy in those years. And he was an Italian citizen, like all the other Dodecanese people, and they learned to speak Italian, but, you know, Greek was in their heart. But the other thing, my dad always believed in education. So he worked hard, and he wanted to send me to the best schools. I went to public schools. I went to PS 192. I went to Brooklyn Tech High School along with Matt Moronis and Peter Capoyanis. Who else went to Brooklyn Tech here? Huh? Oh my God, well, we're going to sing Tech Alma Mater later. Make sure you get ready. But our public school system gave us a great education. And a lot of us worked very, very hard. And we raised $10 million for Brooklyn Tech back about, what, 10, 12 years ago? Why did we raise $10 million for Brooklyn Tech? Because we were thankful that that public school was the first time ever that they raised $10 million for a public high school. Because we were thankful, because it gave us a good education and it gave us a good start in life. On 135th Street, I struggled. I worked hard. I had my first store when I was in college. And what does that mean? That means I didn't go to Harvard and then straight to Goldman Sachs. I grew up in the streets. I was a small businessman. It's more, you know, it's better that way.
This is the White House, John.
I'm busy. This White House wouldn't be calling me. Where were we? We grew up in the streets, and I had stores. And you know what that means? All the small business people that are here today, I'm one of you. I feel your pain. Those of you who had stores, who have stores, and you get $5,000, $10,000 water bills and you don't know what to do. Those of you who get problems from the city, whether it's parking tickets, whether it's violations, I feel your pain. And all of you that know me for a long time know one important thing. I never forgot where I came from. I never forgot my friends. You know, a few years ago, they asked me to get involved with the Greek parade. And people would say to me, John, what are you doing? Why are you going to Astoria, getting involved with the Greek parade? You're a billionaire. I said, they are my people. I will do whatever I have to do to help them. Today, I need your help. I need to get the Republican nomination. You know, 4 years ago when I was running, I had the Republican nomination. And Mayor Bloomberg came back to me and says, I want it back because I want to try for a third term. And I gave it back to him. And, you know, we negotiated and I helped him. And he says to me, well, what do you want? No, I don't want anything. Well, buy me dinner sometime. And I didn't want anything. I've never asked for anything from a politician. Oh, by the way, I'm still waiting for that dinner. Crio Santa Cruz. Very cold-hearted person. And I remember when I went back to the county chairs, and I said to them, well, maybe we should give the nomination back to Mike Bloomberg. I remember the reaction. You remember, Greg? 3 of you went like this. I said, what's the matter? He says he hasn't returned our call in 3 years. It's important that we have a mayor that's going to do the right thing for the taxpayers, the right thing for the store owners, the right thing for the city of New York. You know me. Honesty, integrity. I don't want the money. I'm not looking for a salary. I don't need a job going in. I don't need a job going out. All I want to do is say thank you to all of New York for giving my family a great life. And I have 2 beautiful kids, a beautiful wife. I want to give back to New York. And thank you very much.
John, we'd like to entertain a few questions from the audience. If anyone has a question, we'd like you to come up to the mic and pose a question. Mr. Condolios?
Talk about education. Everybody knows what's going on here. There's a school chancellor. People are still sending a lot of their kids to parochial school. It's very expensive, and people just want a decent education for their kids in the city. Going forward, what are your plans to shape up the boards of education?
I made a public announcement already. In January, you know, we have an unemployment figure, we have a dropout figure in high schools of anywhere from 35 to 40%. That's a horror. That about 30, 35 years ago, they decided everybody should do an academic course. And it doesn't work. I have publicly announced that we have to push vocational schools. So if a person can't do calculus, it doesn't mean they're a failure in life. That maybe, thank you, maybe, train them to be a carpenter. Let's train them to be a plumber. Let's train them to be an electrician. Let's train them to be a mechanic. You know, and those people make $75,000, $100,000 a year. And if you're an entrepreneur, you hire 3 or 4 other carpenters or electricians, and you're a businessman. But that's the way of life, the American way of life. Otherwise, you know what happens? You're a dropout. You go to Burger King or McDonald's and get a job for $8 an hour. And then the government throws food stamps at you. So you know what happens to those poor kids? They become prisoners of the poor neighborhoods. And we don't want to allow that. I want to be a mayor that inspires those kids that they can make it too. If I made it out of 135th Street, they can make it too. And I want to inspire these kids.
Bravo, John.
They can become governor or president of the United States if they want to. We want to be able to lift how they look at things. Not that they look at them. As they say, one of us once became mayor, maybe I could become president.
All right, John. Our next question.
Yes, to Yannick.
Yes,
Congratulations
thank
again.
you.
A couple of months ago, we were fortunate, along with Anna, to be at the Little Flower show with Tony Lobianco. And you have modeled yourself after that progressive, and
Yes.
it's not a dirty word, a progressive Republican. Tell us your philosophy about that, opening our party to a broader scope of people, and
Yeah.
also who may be on your ticket for, let's say, controller or public advocate, you know, who might you consider?
The fusion philosophy, the fusion candidate.
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we have Tony Lobianco's play, Mayor LaGuardia, coming to Brooklyn on June 18th. We have, what, 800 seats? You're arranging it. We're going to have in Brooklyn around June 16th, 18th, something like that. We will provide complimentary tickets to anybody here that wants to see it. And Mayor LaGuardia had an expression. It's not about being a Republican. It's not about being a Democrat. It's about being a real New Yorker and doing the right thing for all New Yorkers. Under Mayor LaGuardia, he built Idlewild Airport. He built what's called LaGuardia Airport now. He built both tunnels. He built the 1939 World's Fair. And he built Grand Central Parkway. What progress we made. He was a great mayor. Now, when I saw that play, I was inspired, and I want to say, I want to do a great job like Mayor LaGuardia did. I want to be the LaGuardia of the 21st century. And that was my dream. And I'm going to climb that mountain with your help to try to achieve that dream. Thank you.
Another question from Elena Daniel.
Hi, John. As a parent myself, we're really concerned about safety in our city. So, as the mayor of New York City, what is an initiative or some of the initiatives you would take to keep our city safe and our children safe? Because there's a lot of stuff happening in schools.
This is the safest city in the country. You know, I'm going to give you some statistics. In Detroit, there are 64 people dying of murder for every 100,000 population. Chicago, 20 people for every 100,000 population. Do you know what it is in New York? Less than 5. Police Commissioner Kelly has done a great job. Let's have a hand for the police commissioner. Every one of the other candidates that's running has said we want to get rid of Kelly.
No.
I'm saying, look, I'm a businessman. You don't get rid of your most valuable employee. where's the political meal, I hope Commissioner Kelly stays as our police commissioner, and if he wants to retire someday, I hope he trains his replacement. And I believe we got to keep our cities safe. When I'm elected, the hoodlums better leave town.
All right.
So people say to me, well, what are you, Republican, conservative, liberal, what are you? I'm a Republican because I'm pro business.
Yeah.
I was taught, I had many mentors in life. I was taught early in life that the business community has to do well for the residential community to do well. And always remember that. I am a conservative because I believe in safe streets and keeping our people safe. And they say to me, well, you're running as a liberal. Well, you know what I'm a liberal for? I'm a liberal because I believe that we have to take care of our elderly, and I believe that we have to take care of our kids in poor neighborhoods and give them the best training we can. So I really believe in all of that, and that's how I really feel. Thank you.
Any other questions for John? Anyone else? Question? Anyone? John, yes. Andy Sullivan is joining us, who's running for City Council. Andy, thank you for being here. John, I would like to make a comment because I'm down at City Hall every day and I'm in the belly of the beast, and I know all the candidates who are running for office. And they know I'm supporting John. They say, how can John win? My answer to them is, and why not? Exactly. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. What gives anyone in this city the right to think that someone who has never had a job, who's never had real life experience in the business world, more capable than our Nyc Catsimatidis, the next mayor of New York City, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. And you just have to say that of all the people running, not one of them has created any real jobs. I'm the only one that's created tens of thousands of jobs. I'm the only one that has worried about making payroll on a Friday. I was the first one to open up stores on a Sunday. You know why I opened up on Sunday? And I was the first one, because I gave out the checks on Friday and I wanted to make sure I had enough money in the account Monday morning. So I'm like you, I always worry, so I'm no different than you guys are. Thank you very much.
God bless you, John. If we could have all the Brooklyn Tech graduates up here for a picture of the committee. Let's get some Brooklyn Tech guys up here. Steve Moronis is here. Steve Moronis.
Proudly rise to salute thee again. Loyal we stand now 6,000 strong. Wake echoes wave as we thunder a song. Tech we will sound our drive. Tech we will unite faith. We're proud to give it. Thank you.